Hi, and welcome to Learning with Mrs. Lasley. Today I'll be talking with you about 5 activity must-haves for preschoolers. So, quick caveat, if you are not a parent of a preschooler or an educator of a preschooler, this probably won't be the video for you. It's definitely geared toward preschool. Reason I did that was because I've had a few people here and there ask me how I interact with preschoolers, because I've been a preschool teacher before, and what are some of the activities that I've used and loved with kiddos. So, I'm going to share those with you today. Side note to keep in mind when I'm sharing all of these activities, I crave organization and I find it very efficient and stress-free when I organize all of these activities by like bins and then when I label them. So just as a side note, if you're going to do any of these activities, it might be helpful to maybe get like a bin and put all the activities in a bin and label that bin. So that way when the kid wants the activity or the materials, they can pull it out, they got it, you don't even have to organize it. It'd be great. Okay, so first thing is an easel. So I don't know how many people have easels at home. I wasn't quite familiar with them until I started being a nanny for a family, and when I realized how great an easel was, it was awesome. So one of the things I would definitely suggest is getting an easel for your kiddo. So this is great because it can be a dry erase board one minute, it can be a chalkboard another minute, it can be just paper and marker. I mean, it can be lots of different things. They can get their artistic ability out and thriving in very little setup and prep time. So you can either get a standing easel or a tabletop easel. They vary in price a little bit. I will go ahead and add a link to find the cheaper versions online. I know a lot of people go on Amazon. There's also some at Target, Walmart, etc. So I'll give you guys some ideas on where to find those. Okay, number 2 is a sensory bin. If you have not heard of these for your preschooler, please stay tuned because they are awesome. So sensory bins can be all kinds of things. Basically, it can be either like a water table, or a sensory bin can even be just like an old bin you have out in your garage. It could be a lot of different things. Basically, it's just a way for you to contain whatever kind of sensory activity you're going to be working on with your kiddo. So a couple ideas with the sensory bin would be oobleck. Oobleck is awesome. It's called many different things, but basically it's just cornstarch and water, and it's awesome. You mix them together, it makes a really cool slime, and the kids love it every single time. You can also do water beads. I've heard them by also another couple of names as well. But water beads are awesome. They're basically just small little like mini marbles, and you fill them up with water, and let they expand, and then you get to play with them, and they're really fun. They're like squishy little water marbles, and they're great. You can also put rice in your sensory bin with lots of like toys or measuring cups. You can put beans, cereal, all kinds of fun things. So sensory bins are awesome. They're super versatile and they're awesome for all the kids. They just love it. Another activity would be building blocks. So a lot of you guys probably already have building blocks because you have young kiddos. I can't stress this enough. I absolutely love building blocks, and so do kids, because there's so many different avenues that you can take with building blocks. So these could be like Legos, that would be a building block, or Jenga, or foam blocks, or wooden blocks. There's all kinds of blocks. Honestly, Jenga is what I use if I'm in a pinch and I don't have other blocks on hand. But these are all wonderful to use because they can build all kinds of structures. It helps with their problem solving, engineering, all kinds of good stuff. So building blocks are awesome. If you don't have them already, definitely have them and try to encourage them with your kiddos because they can do all kinds of things with them. Fourth activity is craft activities. So this is a little bit vague, and I wanted to be clear that there are a few little craft items that I always have on hand when I have preschoolers because I think they're awesome, and they're very geared toward independent activity. So I don't have to constantly monitor, unlike like paint and things like that. That's super fun, but definitely something that has to be monitored by a parent or an adult. So for craft activities, I love to have pipe cleaners on hand. No, but seriously, I love pipe cleaners. They're awesome. They're great for beading, much better than what you would use yarn. Yarn gets very frustrating for young kiddos because it doesn't stay still, so they're constantly fighting just to get the bead on, and then it totally takes the fun out of the activity. Not always, but most often. So pipe cleaners I always have on hand. They're awesome. They can also turn them into anything they want. Wands, crowns, tiaras, all kinds of fun things. So pipe cleaners are awesome. Pom-poms are another one I have on hand all of the time. Now they can be used for making a collage or some kind of craft activity, but they also can be used for sorting, and sorting is really important for preschoolers. There's actually a pretty cool activity where you can make like a muffin tin or like an ice tray, and you can color code each of the little circles, and then they can sort the colored pom-poms in the correct color. So it's a simple activity, very inexpensive. Like I said, you can find pipe cleaners, pom-poms, all those beads, buttons, all of these can be found at the dollar store, but they're really, really great. They can be used for lots of different things, and they're very good for their sorting and organizational brain. Okay, and in addition to that, so I kind of briefly mentioned it, but beads and buttons are also really awesome. You can use it for a few different things, but beads and buttons can be used with the pipe cleaner as well, and they're awesome. And finally, flashcards. So flashcards may seem a little bit boring, but I actually really love flashcards, and what I'm finding is that depending on how I approach flashcards with kiddos, they really love it too. I've had multiple preschoolers in the past where I bring out the flashcards and it becomes a game, and they love it. Like, beg me for the flashcards, which is a good sign for me. So flashcards, what I'm thinking primarily is ABC. Now there's a lot of different flashcards you could get. I got my flashcards at the clearance area in Target, which is awesome. Definitely check those out at like the end of summer. Clearance in Target has amazing stuff. But so the flashcards that I'm thinking of are ABC. So if you get ABC flashcards, this is great for them learning their alphabet and letter recognition. You can play this as like a matching game. So if you have 2 sets of flashcards, then you can lay them all out and you can have your kid match up the flashcards. So it's now a matching game. You can flip them over. If they have like a picture on one side and they have the letter on the other, you can guess the animal, what it is, and then you have to guess the letter, and if you get it right, you get it. Or you could just honestly just play this as a letter recognition. So you can just sit down with your kiddo. This is a little less independent, but you can sit down with them and work on them with their ABCs and make it fun. So these are kind of my 5 activity musts for preschoolers. There's lots of other things out there that you could do and you could use, but these are the 5 things that I really typically always have on hand, because I find that they really gear them toward being independent, and they also are fairly independently based. So they don't need a whole lot of prep from me. They really allow them to be creative and work on some of their problem solving skills, and they really love it, which is what's most important, I think. So anyway, that is my video for today. I hope this was helpful for you parents of preschoolers. If you have any questions about how to organize like with your bins or labels, or if you have any more questions about preschooler activities, I've got a ton. Too much for the video, but if you would like to reach out to me, please feel free to do that. It's very easy to contact me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can also find me at my website, which encompasses all of my contact methods. Learningwithmrslasley.com is a great way to check out with what I'm doing. I post activities pretty much every week, so you guys can go ahead and check on there. There are some preschool activities up there if you are interested. Please make sure to like and subscribe my video if you like it. I appreciate it. The more you guys like it and subscribe it, the more other people will check it out. And my goal is to help as many people as humanly possible. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and happy learning.